and Assalamu alaikum. This is Her Voice by Golden Z. I am Mahir, and joining me today is my co-host Shamisa.
Today we have with us Mahenaz Chowdhury, a Bangladeshi zero waste activist, a global ambassador for the slow fashion movement, and the successful owner of Bangladesh's first zero waste clothing brand, Broke.
Hi everyone, I'm Mahenaz Chowdhury. I'm a zero waste designer and a sustainability scientist at Broke. Thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you for coming and joining us. So, right now we're going to move into our question segment where we just get to know you a bit better, see what you do, how you feel about matters that are important to Her Voice.
So I'll be asking the first question. So the very first question is, you run a zero waste upcycling streetwear label. And so what does this exactly mean? I mean, what does this zero waste upcycling mean? And in a place like Bangladesh, where there's so much plastic consumption, and unfortunately, we waste like a lot of materials. It's really hard. It must be hard to maintain a zero waste life. So what do you have to say about this?
Definitely. I think you've banked on a very important point, right? That Bangladesh being like the second largest garments producer in the world, there's a lot of pressure on our country and the resources that we produce the stuff with as well, right? Which is why I feel that it's a really important initiative that needs to take place from like all across boards by everybody to kind of get on board with zero waste. Because what it essentially does is that it cuts down the disposal aspects of a product, right? So what it does is that it makes sure that you're not leaving behind any breadcrumbs. You're not leaving behind anything that is going to cause more pollution. You're not leaving behind that people are just going to dispose and just walk away and feel like I'm not responsible for it, right? So what that zero waste concept does in a circular economy framework is that it creates a cycle or a circular model where when a product is produced, everything is well thought about it, so that it, like, from the production point of view to like the disposal point of view, everything is kind of taken into consideration so that there are no pollution left behind. So consumers are responsible for what they're consuming, and producers are responsible for what they are making. So it's kind of like sharing that entire responsibility of like how can we be more conscious and more active about creating a better product for consumers, right? And when we talk about upcycling, so what that essentially does is that it works with already or like pre-existing materials in the market, right? So at Broke, what I do is that I collect secondhand clothes, I collect dead stocks, I collect scraps that are left behind from producing all of the producing all the garments that are exported abroad, right? So there's a lot of things that is left behind over here, and that happens because of like poor designing at the end of the brands from the brand's point of view. So it creates a lot of wastage. So with upcycling, what I do is like I create something out of these wastes, and hopefully like that's something that people would be proud of wearing and make a statement about that. Hey, I'm conscious, I'm responsible about the environment, and I'm wearing something that is already existing in the market. So yeah.
All right, so obviously it's a great initiative and something very, very educational, I must say, and inspiring.
Especially given that Bangladesh, we don't often think about pollution as a problem here. So it's a very admirable cause.
Thank you.
All right, so the second question, you also take part in a slow fashion movement. So could you explain the initiative and why it's important?
Absolutely. So about like 2.5 years ago, right, when I started Broke, the whole idea was to like get people on board with the slow fashion movement. And my idea was that I want to bring people to like join my slow fashion movement and like understand that what it really means. It's all about like slowing things down, especially in the age of like internet and like Instagram and TikTok and all of these things. You're constantly being bombarded about like, hey, so this is a new trend. We need to, keep up with something that's like, you got to keep up with these things. And it's just like, it creates that unnecessary anxiety of like constantly wanting to buy, right? And you give into it, it's so hard not to give into it, right? So with slow fashion, it's all about just kind of like taking a step back, like guys, just chill, it's okay. Like, and you can like shop from within your wardrobe as well. You don't necessarily always have to go about and like buying new stuff. You can just create new looks from your wardrobe. So that's one aspect of slow fashion. And the other aspects are like, swapping your clothes, right? Because we probably just wear about like 20% of our wardrobe anyway, like at any given time. So the 80% of your clothes are just like sitting idle in your home, and you can just easily like circulate that around if you like to. So that's something that I've started like doing over the last couple of years, so like create that culture of like swapping as well, right? And so slow fashion movement essentially just talks about all of these philosophies, and like we have a lot of chapters like locked in with us, like, so it's a global platform that brings like all these countries together to talk about slow fashion and what we can individually do to contribute to making sure that we're not consuming more. So essentially what we are trying to do is like cut back on consumption, because with fashion, like it's one of the biggest industries in the world, right? Because এত change হতে থাকে constantly, like, and their product being pushed into the market like constantly as well. So it's all about making sure like how consciously you purchase things. If you are purchasing things, are you looking into like which brands they are, where they're made from, in what conditions what they're made from, were the workers paid a proper wage, were they treated right, how much pollution is your garment making at the end of the day, like all of these things are put into the thought process of when you're buying things. So these are the things that we're trying to educate people about with the slow fashion movement.
So it's economical, plus you get to look good, so it makes sense.
Exactly. And that's what broke means, right? Like you're broke but you're classy. Like you can figure out, like you can create like fun looks, like even if you don't have like a lot of money, or even if you don't want to splurge on like really expensive stuff. So
That's very creative.
Right.
Wow. Okay, so question 3. Oftentimes we see, unfortunately, that female-led movements are kind of lacking, or they don't often other movements get. But recently it came out that the global warming movement, has been led by females, by women. So the global warming movement is going in a positive direction. Do you think movements like these are important? And does feminism have a part to play in the growing positivity?
absolutely. I think these are the only movements that really matter at the end of the day, because if you don't have access to water, if you don't have access to a healthy environment, like it doesn't matter like how expensive clothes you're wearing, right? So like I think just bringing these thoughts together is really important. That's what these kind of movements are trying to like educate people about, that it's about creating a world where you are responsible and you're leaving behind a good environment for the next generation, right? I think we constantly feel that it's because we're taking away from the next generation. We're not leaving something behind, we're rather taking something away from the next generation that would have ideally been theirs if we were like conscious, and if we were like if we were actually like thoughtful about it. And with feminism that you said, right, it's a really important aspect of human life. What feminism essentially talks about is equality, right? It's not about one gender's oppression, it's not about empowering one gender, it's about providing equality to all genders, right? It's not about oppressing another gender and like giving power to another one, because then you're back into that toxic cycle all over again. And that's what and so if we think about the sustainable development goals, right, one of the most essential things over there is that access to quality life. So what that means is that you have access to water, you have access to like a good environment, you have access to like a space where you have your natural resources intact for you, for the next generation. And with feminism and global warming movement together, what we are trying to create and what we are trying to do is like protect the environment so that we have a better future together. So I think it's really, really important if we just like kind of, like step back and just think about that. It's all about making sure that every human being in this world has access to the things that is important for us. It's not just about people at the end of the day, it's also about ensuring that the ecosystem survives as well. So it's also about protecting the biodiversity, the animals, life underwater. So like it's a 360 degree of like looking at the world, basically.
Yeah, because this world isn't just ours. It belongs to so many more things, and we often forget that.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Yeah, and it's really cool that females are actually having a greater cost to this than men, and this is something that's really good. I must say, it's really encouraging for everyone, not just in this nation but across the world. Like Amu Bolan, like everyone, like she's actually like, okay, women are actually doing something, and it's something good that you guys can, and then I'm like, it is something really cool.
Exactly.
So it's nice to know that the equality is kind of that people are making a change, especially women. All right.
Absolutely.
So question 4. All right, this is the fourth question, and it's like you're a successful businesswoman, alhamdulillah, and in our country there are some misogynistic statements where people are like, like females can't trust businesses, বা মেয়েরা ব্যবসা চালাতে পারবে না, ওরা কি বুঝে এরকম, and it's obviously it's not encouraging. So what do you think about this? And when starting Broke, and did you face any obstacles? I mean, obvious as a woman.
That's interesting. So basically about the misogynistic statements, right? I think it's just so disappointing that ekhono manushjon we're just like, we can't step outside of that gender box.
Yeah.
Like, we're just like so brainwashed into thinking that everything is just looks so gendered, And with Broke, the whole concept is to like break away from that gender boxes, right? It's about degendering fashion. Because I feel that as long as we get to express ourselves the way we want to, that should be the most important thing in our lives, right? How do we get to represent ourselves, right? And that's what I'm trying to do for myself as well with the business sides of Broke as well, that I want to do the things the way I want to. This is and of course, like, there has been situations where people have kind of laughed about it. Oh, পুরান কাপড় দিয়ে কাজ করবা, haha, like এটা কে পরবে, or like এটা কেন মানুষজন পরবে. But that's a good point though, because it reflects that how society thinks about these things. It's about the human psychology about these things, right? And প্রথম একটু খারাপ লাগতো, like I used to be like, oh, because I'm super excited about what I am doing, and it's just sad if you're not. It's sad when people are not sharing the same sentiment, but then again, it kind of opened up my mind about the fact that that's how things are. Like, I shouldn't expect other people to like have the same sentiments towards like things that I'm doing. Rather, I need to like take it and look at it in a way that they're trying to tell me something, and I need to listen to it, right? And that's what it is. It's about setting an example for my family, for my cousins, for my female cousins as well, that hey, আমি যদি করতে পারি, like what you would be able to do it as well. I'm trying to. So it's about creating that community. I feel is essentially, I feel that's the goal with Broke, right? And I try not to give into these kind of comments anymore. It used to bug me a lot before, but I just laugh at it. I try to look at it in a more comical manner now, to be like, it's what it is. I'll show you when it's done. Like,
Exactly.
You'll get to see how things are. So yeah.
Definitely. Okay, so as a female entrepreneur, we live in Bangladesh. We are progressing, but in a lot of sectors, people still think women are women. We aren't capable of a lot, unfortunately. So with your company, what image do you want to portray in general, and to all the women across the nation and the world, and who feel oppressed and who feel like, oh, I can't do this. Why? Because I'm a woman. What would you want to tell them, or what image do you want to show them that it's possible, or something like that?
I think, oftentimes we feel or we question that, why am I not getting the support that other people are? Maybe if I had gotten the same support, or if I was from a different background, then maybe things would have been different for me. How about we kind of stop depending, because what you're doing is like you're trying to depend on other factors. Then why not take a look at ourselves and go like, hey, so this is what I have, and let's try and create something out of it. We don't need to depend on other people. Yes, of course, we need a community, we need support systems, but what you first and foremost need is that you need to believe that you can do this by yourself and just take that plunge into that future, right? Where you're making a statement to yourself. That I think that's the most important thing that women or men or any genders actually kind of need to. I feel that if we can kind of just look at it that way, that we can do this by ourselves, and then we can start planning. Like I feel that it's about that conspiracy theory. Like if you want something really bad, the universe conspires to get it to you. I seriously believe in that. I really, really believe in that, because it's happened so many times over the years that when I've really wanted something, touch wood, like I've been given opportunities. And that's the thing, like it's all about you taking or making something out of that opportunity and like connecting the dots with it. And if you're not ready to see it or be open to it, and allow yourself to like experiment and explore, like you will not see these things as opportunities as well to like make something out of it. So I think that's what I want to leave it to people. I do take the steering wheel in your control.
Definitely. And plus, like, Shah Rukh Khan, like, never lies. Like, you can tell, like,
Right on.
okay.
Shamisa, I think I'm just gonna add to that. Do you feel like proud that, hey, I'm doing something as a woman, I'm running a business? Do you think you're inspiring other people? And does that make you feel proud? Because I think you definitely are.
Thank you so much. I think like supports like this obviously makes me feel that I'm doing something right, or at least I'm in the right direction. And I really hope that my work inspires other people to kind of feel confident about making that difference. Oftentimes we feel that আমি এটা করলে কি difference হবে? There are so many other people not doing something about it, or like things are just going to be the same. I feel that if we just do our part, and I think we will see like there will be like changes in the future, or like in the near future, right? And I don't know like if I'm successful as yet. I hope to be one day for sure. So yeah, I really hope it does inspire other people.
Well, you are pioneering zero waste in Bangladesh, so that's a really big success story, if I would say so myself.
Thank you so much. That means so much to me. Thank you.
Okay. So the next question, trigger warning beforehand. It talks about sexual assault and a few derogatory comments on sexual assault victims. Okay, so let's move on. Sexual assault on women, girls was, and most likely will continue to be a problem that this world and we as people face. Oftentimes, people choose to blame the victim, which is not right. And comments like these are made, like, oh, what was she wearing? Oh, he was asking for it. That's super messed up. But we would like to know your stance on statements like these and how they could affect the victims, not only the victims, but like people in general, like as a whole.
See, this is something that really boils my blood, right? If I may like give an example, like back a few years back, right, when the Holy Artisan event happened on 2nd July, that really like shook every one of us, right? But that was a very niche community that got shaken up by that event because it affected community. There's a massive social divide in our country, and there's a massive cultural divide in our country as well, where we don't feel well, we don't feel empathy for one another. I think it's that lack of empathy that leads people to say these kind of vicious, horrible things. And it's a reflection of an entire mass collectively together. What I ended up doing with that when that happened, like all these news were circulating around, and then people were commenting all over these pages, right? And there were horrible things that people were saying to the women who got murdered on that night. And it's unfathomable that a human being can think like this about another person and justifying death or justifying something horrible happening to other people because of the way they dressed, because of the time that they went out at, because of the people that they were associating with. It's unimaginable, I think, that unless you have been through a traumatic experience as a woman, or even as a man, or as any gender, and constantly feel like, was it my fault? Because that's what they are trying to do. Like, they're trying to make you feel, yeah, right? You're like, oh, so because, and it's impossible for you to separate from that guilt. That shit, was it my fault? Did I ask for it? What did I do that led to that situation? I have been in certain situations where things were not ideal, and that's when you realize that if you're a woman, you have no power in this country. There will be nobody standing up for you. There will be nobody taking your side, because if you're raising your voice about it and trying to make a point, you get villainized for it. What I'm trying to say is that Bangladesh, it's not a safe space. Like, এখন পর্যন্ত, it's not a safe space. They're like, Bangladesh's sense of community is very strong amongst men. Enough for women is something that doesn't happen. Whether it be an education, like elite class, follow any class, in any social social structure, men do not feel responsible for women or look after women. So I think I don't know how that's going to change. I really don't know how that's going to change, because last year when that entire movement was happening about sexual abuse and rape and like anti-rape movements that were happening, while that was happening, you see that distaste in men, that they're just pissed off about what's going on in a lot of men's experience, like from their attitude, and I think it's all about that upbringing. I think at the end of the day, it really boils down to a good upbringing. No education system, no legal system can at the end of the day can change that, unless parents are shaping their children in the right direction.
Even I am very privileged. I'm no way saying I'm a very privileged person to be here. But sometimes, from time to time, when I'm just like, oh, I can't walk on the street because I don't know who's going to come behind me. I don't know if I'm going to be alive within the next 10 minutes from a walk to the next basha and across. And I feel like a liability to my parents. And I feel like, okay, if anything happens to me, everyone's going to tell them, oh, apnar mayor kum kena hoise, apnar, and I feel guilty. I shouldn't. I absolutely shouldn't. But it's so ingrained in us from a small age that, okay, your safety is in your hand. The entire, your reputation is in your hands, and you are a piece of white cloth. I remember someone telling me this, that as a girl, you are a piece of white cloth, and anytime a little stain, tiniest of the tiniest, it will be seen, and you will be known for that black spot. That's
wow. It's really, really, really messed up and a super powerful statement at the same time, because it really shows like whatever you do, people will be coming at you, and I've seen that over time and time again, and that's just so sad. I think you're both of you are like so absolutely right about the fact that like parents are like divisionটা ছোটবেলা থেকে স্টার্ট করে একেবারে, যে মেয়েদেরকে কতটুকু প্রায়োরিটি দিবে, ছেলেদেরকে কতটুকু প্রায়োরিটি দিবে। ছেলেরা don't have to take any responsibility for anything, Girls have to take responsibility for everything. And unless that dialogue really changes, I don't think কিছু change হবে.
Okay, so Shamisa, do you want to start the rapid fire round?
Let's do, right. So now, everything was a bit heated recently. So now, let's cool things down. Let's get to know you on a more friendly basis. Let's find out your likes, dislikes, and
Oh
all of
man.
that. Okay, so let's get started then. The rapid
Okay,
fire.
so just to clarify, you have to answer as fast as you can. First thing that comes up in your mind. All right, not necessarily the first thing that comes to your mind. It's absolutely fine. All right, so the first question.
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah.
It was actually really chill. There's nothing debatable. It's just fun. All right.
Okay.
So, which of this was your absolute favorite hair color? Was it pink, purple, or blue?
Blue.
Okay.
Okay, next up. If you could bring back any fashion trend, what would it be?
Oh my god, bell bottoms. But it's already here. But like, yeah, always bell bottoms.
Okay.
Okay. Third question. What is your biggest fear?
Cockroaches. Oh my god, I hate
Oh
it.
God. Yeah, I'm
If you could
allergic.
only wear one type of clothing for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Saris.
Okay. Okay, it's traditional. That's something good. All right. Okay.
And it's well ventilated as well. And you can do so many things with it. So it's just
Especially in Dhaka, oh my god, need them.
Okay. This is a fun one, but it's up to you if you want to answer it. Okay. So, who was your
Okay.
childhood celebrity crush?
oh my god. Brad Pitt. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
A fan favorite. A favorite memory of yours.
One time that I got like Crystal Fox, you know, those chocolate, like those candies. Yeah.
Yeah.
On my birthday. Yeah, I think it was 4 or 5 years old, and I finished it in one go.
What is your least favorite food? And what's your favorite food?
Jhinga. Well, that's a vegetable, but like anything to do with jhinga, I think
Yeah,
I just
food.
can't.
Food, yeah.
And my most favorite would be tomato horta. Tomato horta.
Oh my god, love that.
Most favorite. Yeah.
As a child, what did you want to be when you grew up?
I wanted to be an architect.
Ooh.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And then I did
Like
get
math.
enrolled into the architect. No, that's the thing. I dread math. And the worst part is, Kijano, like all my life I ran away from math, and now like in what I do with Bro, everything is all about math.
Oh my god.
Oh my god,
no.
I was like,
Are you trying
what
to
did I
tell me
do?
that when I become an adult I have to do math? This is just like a nightmare. Oh my god.
Okay, alright.
Yeah.
I think we already got the answer to the next question. Because I was gonna ask you what's your favorite and your least favorite subject in school?
Oh.
So I think your least favorite is math, most probably.
Yeah.
Okay, so
But
what was your
you know
favorite?
the funny thing is, my favorite subject, chemistry. Yeah, chemistry was my
Okay.
favorite subject in school.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even though there was a lot of math, but it was just like so much fun, like balancing equations and like doing the experiments. I was like, oh my god, like lab experiments were my favorite.
Wow. Okay. You can have any fictional character as a friend. Who do you choose and why?
Okay, because I'm watching Friends all over again, I'll just
Alright,
say,
first of all, I'm just gonna clap my hands first.
I think I want like Chandler as my friend.
His food policy I don't agree with.
Fair enough.
If you could have one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Tomato.
I mean a dish.
Oh, dish.
Yeah.
Anything tomato based. Tomato horta. Again.
Okay.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Superpower. I've always thought about it and then I forgot. I don't want any superpowers. It's just like too much responsibility. No, actually, you know, my superpower would be like make people forget. Yeah. Anything that I want them to like forget. Yeah. Just like
Interesting.
erase memories.
Interesting.
Could be used for good or bad.
Okay, so Aladdin's genie gives you 3 wishes. So what are those wishes?
Allah. Okay, first wish would be so that I can sing. Second one would be like because I can't sing. Second one would be that ability to like pick up anything that I want to, like in terms of learning anything that I want to, because I'm a very slow learner. And the third one would be having an animal shelter.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
you
really
said you
sweet.
can't sing. I mean, Maher, should we put this to the test? I don't know if I believe her. You know, do you want to give us a little demo?
Sure.
Give us a little demo of the Friends theme song. We'll clap along.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Oh,
God,
the
no,
singing
no.
thing. Oh, all right. Okay.
Oh my God, no, don't do this to me, guys.
All right, it's fine. It's fine. All right. Okay. So
Okay, anyway. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
that all human beings are alone, and you gotta look out for yourself.
okay. Yes.
My dad gave me that advice. My nana bhai who passed away, and like my nanu who also passed away. Like they've always told me like time and time again that like you're gonna die alone. You're alone in this world, and you just gotta look out for yourself. Like no one's gonna be there for you for anything really.
So last one, but I think we also know the answer to this. What is your favorite movie and TV show?
Friends.
Okay.
My movie would be Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Yeah.
I haven't watched that one, but
Oh, guys, you have
Yeah.
to.
We'll have to put that on our
yeah.
watch list. So with that, our rapid fire-ish round comes to an end. And now we would like you to say a little something to the people who are watching, just to like, motivate them and all of that.
I always get so nervous when this question comes, right? Because I feel like asking the advice, who am I?
Oh my
Well,
God, no.
I'm just gonna say the entire interview.
Already.
Yeah, and the interview has been so inspirational, right?
Exactly. Like I sound like plastic because you try this and I'm just like, I'm going to try this out. I don't know if I'll succeed, but I'll try it out.
That's
Definitely.
amazing. I'm so proud of you guys already. And I think that's the hardest switch to make. And I think that's what I want to tell to the audience as well. That, any little difference that you make towards going towards a sustainable lifestyle makes a lot of difference, right? We feel that just me alone, like what good would it really do? Like if I stop buying that is like plastic based. But it really does make that difference. And it's about that one voice. Like it doesn't matter what other people are doing. And I think that's the most important part, that we gotta let that go where we are dependent on other people to like make a difference. We gotta take that control in our hand and we gotta do our thing. It shouldn't matter what other people are doing or not doing, I think that's where the responsibility will really start kicking in, when you stop comparing with others. And secondly is that secondly would be like, something that you just said, like where you're going to try to not buy something that is plastic based. I think that's a really, really wonderful way to like think about things. Like, for example, like I just recently switched to soap bars so that I don't have to buy like bottles of plastic based shampoo bottles, right? And that took me a long time to get here, like a long time to find out which was the right brand and whatnot, because it's really overwhelming that it's going to be really expensive to switch to a sustainable lifestyle. But honestly, it's more cost effective and it's such a healthier choice to make, because it's just about making that effort, that first effort to thinking about like acha ki kara uchit, ki step kara uchit, like to research kara uchit, and then it's just like a piece of cake from there, For example, like just taking your own grocery bag to when you're shopping, so you don't have to like buy stuff in like plastic based products. You can buy like wholesale, like you can buy stuff in wholesale where you don't have to buy like packaged grocery products. You can just like get it in your jute bag or like Tupperware bag and stuff like that. So I think that's the thing, guys. I feel that we really need to start thinking about the entire environment, not just the people, but the animals, the ecosystem that we're a part of, and like hopefully we can make a collective and improved community together.
Really beautiful. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thing.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. It was wonderful having this chat with you.
It was definitely very educational.
Coming
So
along,
thank you.
sharing.
Thank you so much. It was very different, the things you talked about. So it's something very learning and inspiring.
I'm so glad. Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
I love your hair, by the way. Oh my god. Absolutely love it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, a lot of trial and error, Basha, home experiment.
You got there. Definitely.
Thank you guys, and let me know if there's anything that we can do together down the line with like Brooke, and if we can like
Oh my god, we love that.
Obviously. Of course,
amazing.
definitely.
And from my end, if I have some interesting things happening about like climate change or like any workshop that you guys might be interested in, I'll put you guys forward to that. That would be amazing.
Definitely. We'll
That would
actually
be really
be
cool.
very, thankful that you're allowing us to participate in
No,
such
are you crazy? It's all about
Definitely,
building that
absolutely.
community.
All right. Yeah.
Okay, guys, have a good
Okay.
night. Thank you so
You
much.
too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. All right, guys. This was Her Voice by Golden Sea. Assalamu alaikum and goodbye.